Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today, Nobility, Part 2, from Sri Aurobindo. All that might be admirable and true, as certainly all the things thus eulogized have their place in the human evolution, if the premise on which it were founded were true, that the seeking for something behind, something beyond, something of which the evolution of mind, life, and body was only a veil or a preparation, is an illusion and a chimera. But if these things are real, if the seeking is a lasting and major drive in nature, then all these objections and recommendations are futile. For this drive will fulfill itself. This hidden reality will draw and draw us till we achieve it. Those who feel its call cannot do otherwise than follow and strive, even if need be, leave all else for it, hold all other greatness, splendor, nobility, beauty, as cheaper, minor things compared with this other light and greatness and beauty of which they have had the vision, the intimation, the formless attraction, or else the passing touch or glimpse. Sacrifice has a moral and psychological value always. This value is the same no matter what may be the cause for which the sacrifice is made, provided the one who makes it believes in the truth or justice or other worthiness of his cause. If one makes the sacrifice for a cause one knows to be wrong or unworthy, all depends on the motive and spirit of the sacrifice. Bhishma, accepting death in a cause he knew to be unjust, obeyed the loyalty to what he felt to be his personal duty. Many have done that in the past, and the moral and psychic value of their act lies, irrespective of the nature of the cause, in the nobility of the motive. Jealousy should not be there if there is no ground for it, for then it is absurd and meaningless. But also when there is reason for it, according to common standards, it should not be there, for it is a sentiment lacking in nobility and quite unyogic. There is no true reason for despondency. In nothing that has passed do I find any good ground for it. The difficulties you experience are nothing to those that others have felt and yet conquered them, others who were not stronger than you. All that has happened is that by this descent into the physical consciousness, the ordinary external human nature has come to the front with its elemental imperfections and subconscious unsatisfied impulses, and it is to these that the contrary force is appealing. The mind and the higher vital have put away from them the ideas and illusions which gave them a sanction, an illusion of legitimacy and even nobility in their satisfaction. But the root of them, their inherent irrational push for satisfaction, has not yet gone. This, for instance, is the reason for the sexual movements which you have recently felt in sleep or in waking. This was inevitable. All that is needed is for your psychic being to come forward and open you to the direct and real and constant inner contact of myself and the Mother. Hitherto, your soul has expressed itself through the mind and its ideals and admirations, or through the vital and its higher joys and aspirations. But that is not sufficient to conquer the physical difficulty and enlighten and transform matter. It is your soul in itself, your psychic being, that must come in front, awaken entirely, and make the fundamental change. The psychic being will not need the support of intellectual ideas or outer signs and helps. It is that alone that can give you the direct feeling of the divine, the constant nearness, the inner support and aid. You will not then feel the Mother remote or have any further doubt about the realization. For the mind thinks and the vital craves, but the soul feels and knows the divine. Why cannot you see that this condition is not a true consciousness, but only a clouding of the truth, a clouding which you can always get rid of if you firmly choose to do so? What you express here is not a lack of understanding, but a lack of will. And this lack of will is not your own, but is forced upon you by a lower consciousness which overpowers you and forces you to reverse all the true values of feeling and knowledge. Your being does want to be free and at peace and happy in the light. It is this falsehood seizing hold of your external mind that makes you want to be more dark and miserable and revolted and hate yourself and not to live. Such feelings, such a perverted will, is entirely opposed to the normal feelings of the nature and cannot be true and right. There is nobody who asks you to pretend. What we ask you is to reject false perversions and wrong feelings and ignorance, and not to go on supporting them as they want you to do. It is not courage and nobility to accept these things as the law of your nature, nor is it meanness and cowardice to aspire to a higher truth and try to act according to it and make that the law of your nature.